there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight, where we get you the day's top stories from India and across the world. Let's start with the headlines. It's a proud moment for the nation. ISRO's PSLV C-37 marks its 39th mission by placing a record 104 nanosatellites in orbit, a first for any nation in the world. Elections are held for 69 seats in Uttarakhand. Second phase of polls in UP is conducted peacefully in 67 assembly constituencies spread across 11 districts. Campaigning continues for the remaining phases of election in Uttar Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses an election rally in Kannauj, the first in the city by any PM in 46 years. And AIADMK General Secretary V.K. Sasikala is in Bengaluru to serve a jail sentence. Tamil Nadu police filed cases against AIADMK Legislature Party leader E. Palanisamy for allegedly holding MLAs hostage. The top story this evening: Indian Space Research Organisation scripted history on Wednesday by successfully launching a record 104 satellites. This was the highest number of satellites ever launched in a single mission. It was ISRO's first space mission for the year 2017 and the most complicated mission it has ever carried out.
3, 2, 1, 0, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It was a moment of great pride as India's trusted workhorse PSLV C-37 on its 39th mission took off in the morning at 9:28 a.m. from Sriharikota. 17 minutes later, the rocket started placing the satellites into orbit one by one with a time frame of about 11 minutes. It first injected the Cartosat-2 series, India's indigenously built Earth observation satellites, followed by two other nanosatellites, INS-1A and INS-1B. The rocket then took less than 10 minutes to place 101 foreign nanosatellites, of which 96 belonged to the USA and one each to Israel, Kazakhstan, the Netherlands, Switzerland and the United Arab Emirates.
PSLV C-37 has put in the Cartosat-2 series satellite, and all the remaining 103 satellites have been successfully put into the orbit by this launch vehicle. My hearty congratulations to the entire ISRO team for the wonderful job they have done.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Pranab Mukherjee congratulated the space agency for the historic event that significantly boosts India's space program. The indigenous satellites will be used for providing remote sensing services and are equipped with special image sensors. They will monitor activities of India's hostile neighbors at a resolution of less than 1 meter. The images will also be used for a large number of geographic information system applications.
This cartography will help in a bigger way for the whole nation, especially the nation like India, which is developing. We should know what was yesterday, what is today, and all this infrastructure building point of view. These high resolution images will help in a bigger way for the planners and as well as the policy makers.
India broke the record set by Russia, which launched 37 satellites in one go in 2014, while NASA had successfully sent 29 satellites in 2013. After this mega launch, ISRO plans to go to Venus for the first time and revisit the red planet Mars very soon.
5,460 combinations. The biggest challenge that ISRO braved was to avert collusion of these satellites with unique sequence management. India's foray into space, catapulted by ISRO's multiple satellite launch, will give a huge booster shot to its commercial wing, Antariksh. And today's achievement would be inscribed in golden letters, not just in India's, but in world space history. Reporting from Sriharikota, with camera person Sudhanshu, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
And now let's get you all the latest from the ongoing assembly elections in Verdict 2017. Uttarakhand today witnessed 68% voter turnout till 5 p.m. The state voted in a single phase for 69 of the 70 assembly seats. Here's a report.
Voting in Uttarakhand took place amid tight security arrangements. Long queues were seen right from the morning itself as the state voted for 69 out of 70 assembly seats. Polling was peaceful, with local issues appearing to dominate the voters' mind.
Uttarakhand voter turnout had been the record turnout, highest ever. At 5 p.m. the percentage of turnout was 68%.
जो भी हमारी जो सरकार आएगी कुछ बेटर करे मान ले, ये हम चाहते हैं।
समाज के लिए कुछ सुधार चाहिए जीवन में, और हमारे विजय कॉलोनी में पानी की समस्या, बिजली की समस्या, सड़क की समस्या,
जो यंग जनरेशन में जो जैसे बेरोजगारी है, उसकी ये जो मेन समस्या है उसको दूर करें।
Voting for the assembly seat of Karnaprayag constituency was rescheduled for 9th March following the death of a BSP candidate. Chief Minister Harish Rawat, who is seeking a second stint in office, is contesting from 2 seats, Haridwar Rural and Kicha in Udham Singh Nagar district. With a lot at stake, the main contenders fielded their star campaigners in the election. The BJP even had a lot of union ministers addressing poll rallies.
मैं लोगों से कहूंगा कि एक स्पष्ट अच्छा बहुमत हमको दें, ताकि मैं जिस रूप में वो चाहते हैं यहाँ की गवर्नमेंट चले वो दिखा सकूं। अभी तो खाली हमने झलक दिखी है और आगे तो बहुत कुछ करना बाकी है।
चाहे वो कानून व्यवस्था हो, चाहे आर्थिक तंत्र की व्यवस्था हो, और चाहे वो अवस्थापना विकास का हो, हर क्षेत्र में बिल्कुल ऐसी परिस्थिति में विकास के काम सब ठप पड़ गए। अब लगा ही नहीं कि यहाँ कोई शासन है, जंगल राज जैसा लगा लोगों को। तो इसलिए शुरू से ही लोगों ने ये मन बना दिया था इस समय इस सरकार को उखाड़ना है।
628 candidates are in the fray for the single phase of polling in the Hill State. In the 2012 assembly elections, out of the 70 assembly seats, BJP won 31, Congress 32, BSP 3, Independent 3 and UKDP 1 seat. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, over 68% voters turned up at polling booths to exercise their franchise in the second phase of the Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections. With 720 candidates in the fray, UP is witnessing a three-way contest among Samajwadi Party Congress Alliance, the BJP and the BSP.
Second phase elections in Uttar Pradesh on Wednesday amid tight security. Polling was held in 67 assembly constituencies spread across 11 districts.
मैं ये समझता हूं कि ये सारे इंतजामात के चलते जो बहुत अच्छी पार्टिसिपेशन वोटर्स की देखने को मिली, और 5 बजे तक ऑलरेडी 65.5% हमारी वोटिंग हो चुकी थी एंड स्टिल काउंटिंग.
Districts that saw voting included Saharanpur, Bijnor, Muradabad, Sambhal, Rampur, Bareilly, Amroha, Pilibhit, Lakhimpur Kheri, Shahjahanpur and Badaयूं.
This phase of election is important because of 2 reasons. One is sizable Muslim population and another is consolidation against the minority voters. If there is a split in the Muslim population, advantage may go to BJP, but if it is not, advantage may come to the alliance between SP and Congress.
Over 50,000 police constables, hundreds of home guards and several head constables were deployed to ensure free and fair elections. There were no reports of any untoward incident from any of the polling booths.
अभी तक सब कुछ शांतिपूर्ण रहा है और हम लोग पूरे प्रयास किए हुए हैं कि सब कुछ शांतिपूर्वक संपन्न होगा और किसी भी प्रकार की स्थिति से निपटने के लिए हम पूरी तरह से तैयार हैं.
Voting was marked by long queues in many places and enthusiasm among first-time voters. 720 candidates are in the fray, with as many as 22 from Bijnor and a minimum of 4 nominees from Amroha. Prominent contestants include SP Minister Azam Khan and his son Abdullah Azam from the Rampur and Swar seats. For the BJP, Legislature Party leader Suresh Kumar Khanna is contesting from Shahjahanpur city.
उत्साह इसलिए है कि लोगों ने बहुत बुरे दिन देखे हैं. अच्छे दिनों के नाम से लोगों को इतना ठगा गया है और इस कदर जुल्म हुए हैं. ये क्योंकि बहुत कमजोरों का इलाका है. जीवन स्तर बढ़ाया है, खुशियां दी हैं, प्यासे को पानी दिया है, जिनके सम्मान छीन लिए गए थे उन्हें सम्मान दिया है.
मुझे लगता नहीं है नोटबंदी कोई मुद्दा है. नोटबंदी आम आदमी उससे संतुष्ट है और उसे प्रसन्न है, और मेरा मानना है कि अब उत्तर प्रदेश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी बहुमत की ओर आगे बढ़ रही है. पहले राउंड का जो परिणाम समझ में आ रहा है और दूसरे राउंड में मैं मानता हूं कि निश्चित रूप से भारतीय जनता पार्टी भारी बढ़त के साथ आगे आएगी।
साफ स्वच्छ मतदान किया है, अच्छा प्रत्याशी विजयी होकर जाए, प्रदेश में उच्च कोटि की सरकार बने।
ये बदलाव, अमन, चैन, शांति, प्रदेश का विकास, ये कांग्रेस के और समाजवादी गठबंधन की जो प्रत्याशी है रुचि वीरा, उसको वोट डाला है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi and Bahujan Samaj Party Chief Mayawati campaigned extensively in the second phase constituencies. Polling will be next held on February 19th, 23rd, 27th and March 4th and 8th. Counting of votes will be taken up on March 11th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And political bigwigs had a busy day in Uttar Pradesh campaigning for the other phases, the third phase in fact of the assembly elections on Wednesday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed an election rally in Kannauj district. The Prime Minister told the crowd that the SP Congress alliance will shatter their dreams. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav and his alliance partner Rahul Gandhi also held rallies in the poll-bound state. Here's a report.
As Uttar Pradesh voted in its second phase of polling, campaigning continued for the third phase. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed an election rally in Kannauj, the first in the city by any PM in 46 years. In his speech, Modi criticized the pre-poll alliance between the ruling Samajwadi Party and the Congress Party. He also declared the incumbent government anti-poor. Kannauj is slated to go to polls on February 19th.
आज मैं यूपी का अगर खाका खोलूं तो कहीं अप नजर नहीं आता है, सब कुछ डाउन नजर आता है, सब कुछ डाउन नजर आता है। आज यूपी में जनता का भरोसा डाउन है, विकास का ग्राफ डाउन है, कानून व्यवस्था डाउन है, माताओं बहनों की, बेटियों की सुरक्षा का मसला डाउन है।
Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav also held several rallies in Unnao, Lucknow and Raebareli. Addressing the audience, he said voters in Uttar Pradesh should not trust BSP as it might join hands with the BJP after the elections. Akhilesh also targeted the centre, saying that Man Ki Baat itself was not enough and that the centre should deliver results. He also highlighted schemes launched by his government for the welfare of the people.
टीवी पे भी उनकी मन की बात सुन ली, कई वर्षों से लगातार उनकी मन की बात चल रही है, लेकिन कमाल ये है कि जनता अभी तक उनकी मन की बात नहीं समझ पाई और वो अपने मन की बात भी नहीं समझा पाए। हमने तो कहा कि इतने दिनों से मन की बात कर रहे हैं आप, कम से कम कोई काम की बात तो करो कि कोई काम किया हो तो हमें भी बता दो।
Meanwhile, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi attacked Prime Minister Modi on the issue of demonetization and black money at a rally in Barabanki.
मित्रों, मैं काले धन के खिलाफ लड़ाई लड़ रहा हूं। लाइन लगी हुई है, उसमें किसान खड़ा है, मजदूर खड़ा है, युवा खड़ा है, माताएं खड़ी है, बहनें खड़ी हैं। उस लाइन में आपको एक सूट बूट वाला चोर दिखाई दिया था।
BSP Supremo Mayawati also addressed rallies in Raebareli and Barabanki. In Barabanki, Mayawati claimed that her party will win 300 seats in the assembly elections. She also said that exit and opinion polls are undermining her party's electoral strength. Terming the Samajwadi Party rule as corrupt and criminal, she alleged that the state government had failed to provide security to women and minorities in the state.
BJP अपने किसी भी चेहरे को प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में पेश करने की अभी तक भी हिम्मत नहीं जुटा पाई है और वहीं दूसरी तरफ सपा के मुख्यमंत्री पद का चेहरा जो अपनी सरकार में शुरू से ही यहाँ खासकर कानून व्यवस्था व अपराध नियंत्रण के मामले में जबरदस्त दागी चेहरा रहा है।
Voting for the 7-phased polls in Uttar Pradesh ends on March 8th. The results will be announced on March 11th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And now to Manipur, where nomination process for the first phase of elections ended today. Altogether, 215 candidates have filed nomination papers from 38 constituencies, which go to polls in the first phase of the assembly elections on the 4th of March. Scrutiny of papers for the first phase of elections will be held on the 16th of February, and the last date of withdrawal is on the 18th of February. Now, according to sources, 24 candidates have filed nomination papers so far for the second phase of elections for Manipur on the 8th of March to elect 22 MLAs. With that, we'll take a quick break here. Up next, we're getting you more updates from across the country and also international news. Stay with us.
Gyan Chopper is the ancient version of Indian snakes and ladders. This intriguing game was popular among the old, the young, and the rulers as well. The chopper has its origin in the Jain philosophy. It tells the story of virtue, symbolized by the ladders, rewarded, while the vices shown by the snakes are punished. Each square, in turn, also narrates a message of wisdom.
It's election time again. Voters in 5 states gear up to cast their votes. Catch all the action in Verdict 2017, Monday to Friday on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's continue to get you one of the stories that we've been tracking for the past few days now, and that is, of course, relating to the AIADMK General Secretary V.K. Sasikala. She was sent to jail on Wednesday after she surrendered before a special court at the premises of the Central Jail on the outskirts of Bengaluru. Sasikala started her journey from Chennai to Bengaluru around noon, soon after the Supreme Court rejected her plea to grant more time to surrender before the court. Here's a roundup of the developments of the day. Emotional scenes at the Jayalalitha Memorial in Chennai on a day when the police filed cases against V.K. Sasikala and AIADMK Legislature Party leader E. Palanisamy. The convicted party general secretary also visited the MGR Memorial and paid floral tributes to the late Tamil Nadu Chief Minister before heading to surrender at a local court in Bengaluru.
और फैसले ने ये बता दिया है कि अगर करप्शन होगी हाई प्लेसेस में, ऊंचे लोगों में, तब भी कोर्ट उस पे बड़े हेवी हैंड से काम लेगी.
Security was also tightened at the resort where the AIADMK MLAs are staying.
We are free. On our own, we are staying here comfortably. All of us staying with our family members. Then where is the necessity for so many?
The Karnataka High Court decided to shift the venue of Sasikala's surrender to the Central Jail outside Bengaluru due to security considerations. The late Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha, Sasikala and her relatives V.N. Sudhakaran and J. Ilavarasi had spent 3 weeks in this jail after the trial court convicted them in September 2014. Earlier, the Supreme Court refused to entertain Sasikala's petition seeking more time to surrender for undergoing her jail term in the disproportionate assets case. A bench headed by Justice P.C. Ghosh said they did not intend to pass any order on the judgment.
Whatever they have mentioned, these things also, Sasikala must have told, yes, I only did it. There is no role by Jayalalitha. Because as she told about all the other things that she was responsible for everything. And this also, this scam, that what she should say is, I only responsible. I only did everything. But she has not told it, but the court has made it very specific. So I am happy the culprit, they have been booked.
On Wednesday, Sasikala re-inducted close relatives TTV Dinakaran and S. Venkatesh into the party 5 years after they were expelled by J. Jayalalitha. Dinakaran, her nephew and a former Rajya Sabha member, was appointed as the party's Deputy General Secretary. Sasikala said both were re-inducted after they had apologized to her in person and through letters. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. In other news now, 4 terrorists were killed and 4 soldiers were martyred in 2 separate encounters with security forces in Kupwara and Bandipora districts of Jammu and Kashmir on Tuesday. 3 terrorists who were hiding in a residential house in Kralgand area of Kupwara district were gunned down by the forces yesterday evening. 1 army major was also killed in the encounter. In another encounter in Bandipora, 1 terrorist and 3 soldiers were killed in the gunfire, which ensued during a search operation conducted by security forces. A joint team of army and police had cordoned off the area following information about the presence of terrorists. 5 soldiers were also wounded in the operation.
हमने पुलिस के साथ मिलके जॉइंट ऑपरेशन लॉन्च किया, जिसको मेजर सतीश भैया लीड कर रहे थे। जब मेजर सतीश भैया की पार्टी इस टारगेट हाउस को कॉर्डन करने जा रही थी, जिसके अंदर टेररिस्ट होने की जानकारी थी, तो घर के अंदर से 3 टेररिस्ट ने फौज के ऊपर भारी मात्रा में फायर करना शुरू कर दिया।
And here are more updates from across the country and nationwide. The Supreme Court directed controversial RJD leader Mohammad Shahabuddin to be transferred to Tihar jail from a prison in Bihar's Siwan district within a week. The top court also said that his trial in pending cases in Bihar will be conducted through video conferencing from the Tihar jail. The Ola-Uber strike entered the 6th day today, with drivers protesting against the management and against the withdrawal of incentives for them and lack of adequate insurance policies. The management board of Ola and Uber met, in fact, Transport Minister Satyendra Jain. No concrete solutions were suggested though. However, the Delhi government has asked the management to look into the demands put forth by the drivers. President Pranab Mukherjee has cleared the names of 5 High Court judges, including 4 Chief Justices of state High Courts, for elevation to the Supreme Court. The notifications of their respective appointments is slated to be issued soon. The working strength of the Supreme Court will receive a fillip once the 5 judges take oath of their new assignment. The 23 crew members of a Chinese freighter that have been detained at an Indian port for more than 50 days are now longing to return home in the shortest time. Captain of the freighter union Dimitar Dai Xiaosong said that his crew members are suffering from the shortage of basic necessities and medicines. And now let's get you through more international news updates in Global Buzz. At least 6 people, including 4 security personnel, were killed and many others injured when a suicide bomber blew himself outside a government compound in northwestern Pakistan's restive tribal region. Authorities said 2 suicide bombers were on a motorbike. While one blew himself up, the other was killed in firing by security forces. The Pakistan Taliban faction Jamaat-ul-Ahrar claimed the attack. Malaysian authorities began investigating the death of North Korean leader's half-brother Kim Jong-nam. Jong-nam died after an apparent poison attack at the airport of Kuala Lumpur on Monday. His body underwent an autopsy on Wednesday, but little details were released. South Korea's agency claims that North Korea had long prepared for the murder of Kim Jong-nam. Malaysian authorities have detained a woman as well in connection with the investigation. Palestinians have warned the United States on Wednesday against abandoning a 2-state solution to the conflict with Israel. Palestine's warning came after a White House official said that peace did not necessarily have to entail Palestinian statehood. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is currently visiting the US and will meet President Donald Trump later in the day. The White House also said that it was up to Israel and Palestine themselves to decide on the shape of any future peace. And now let's get you all the update from the world of sports in SportsBeat. India's Shomajit Ghosh and Sanil Shetty enter the main draw of the ITTF World Tour India Open tournament. Both Shomajit and Sanil won their 2 games comfortably to reach the main stage. In the women's singles action, recently crowned national champion Madhurika Patkar won 1-1 and lost 1 game, meaning her chances to qualify is now uncertain. Jamaican sprinter Usain Bolt and American gymnast Simone Biles took the top accolades at the Laureus Awards in Monaco. Both the athletes were named Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year respectively after their superb performances at the Rio Olympics. Formula One world champion Nico Rosberg was given the Breakthrough Award of the Year, while English football side Leicester City won the Spirit of Sport Award for their remarkable Premier League win. Barcelona were thrashed 0-4 by French champions Paris Saint-Germain in the first leg of the last 16 in the Champions League. Angel Di Maria scored twice, while Julian Draxler and Edison Cavani added a goal each as the French side completed the humiliation of the Spanish side. The two teams meet for the second leg on the 8th of March at Camp Nou, but no team has overturned a 4-goal deficit in the tournament history. And that's all we could get for you on the news tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.